Hey guys, Andrew at Prime Medical Training. Today we're talking about fake CPR certifications. What is it? Is it really a thing? What's the difference between a fake certification or an unrecognized certification? But before we jump into that, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you can stay up to date with more content that we put out related to resuscitation training. And also feel free to leave a comment below if you have anything to share. We would love to engage with you. Okay, so fake CPR certifications, let's talk about that. With the rise of the internet, we've had a lot of people who have taken advantage of being able to post classes online, and they advertise that, hey, you can get a quick 15-minute CPR certification class and you'll instantly get your certification after completing the online course. And you'll see that all over the place. They pour a lot of money into advertising that, and so you have all these people who are going online because it's quick and easy and cheap. But here's the problem. Those kind of certifications are not approved by OSHA, and most licensing boards and employers won't accept them either. And so though they may say that they are AHA compliant, or though they might say that they adhere to the AHA guidelines, they really don't, because the AHA, the American Heart Association, requires that in order for you to be deemed worthy of holding a CPR certification and be competent in CPR, there needs to be some sort of hands-on component. So you can take an online class, that's legitimate, but it has to always be followed up by hands-on training with an instructor or with a mannequin that can give you feedback device. So anything that's completely advertised as completely online, that is not going to be a legitimate certification. That being said, there's some other kind of scams and ways that people do this. So you'll have also people that may teach you a class and you actually engaged with an instructor, but then they'll give you a certification card that says American Heart Association on it or another recognizable brand, but it was a certification card that they made up themselves and that wasn't actually issued by the body that it says it was issued by. Most certification cards now, you can tell that they're legitimate because they'll come with QR codes on them, and so you can scan that. It'll take you to the actual website of, let's say, the American Heart Association, and it will verify there whether or not the card was legitimately issued. So that's another thing to kind of keep an eye out for. And then on the other side of that, those are scams. Those are illegitimate certifications. But then there's what's known as unrecognized certifications. So it could be completely legitimate. You could have the American Acme CPR agency, and they've created their own curriculum, and they follow American Heart Association guidelines. It's a really legitimate class, and you have a hands-on component to it, and so it all looks and feels legitimate, but nobody recognizes that certification. So even though it's a legitimate class and they did nothing wrong, if you took that to your employer, if you took that to your licensing board or whoever it is that's requiring that, more likely than not, they're not going to recognize it. So because it's not on the list of approved agencies. Even if the curriculum is the exact same, it just didn't make the list, therefore it's not going to be accepted. So there's that too. Just because your employer says, no, we're not going to accept that, it doesn't mean that you got scammed necessarily. It could just mean that you chose an agency that wasn't approved. And so what you need to do, bottom line, is talk to your licensing board, talk to your employer, and verify and make sure that they give you the list of approved certification bodies before going out and paying money online or just finding a random Joe Blow on the streets. Find out what they're willing to accept and then go out. We see it all the time. People come in and they're like, yeah, I took this course online, my employer wouldn't accept it, now I'm having to pay more money to get my certification card. We don't want you to be in that boat. That's why we're trying to help educate you, and hopefully this was helpful and insightful. If you have any questions or comments, or you've experienced some scam CPR certification classes, I'd like to hear about those in the comments below. We'll definitely reply and love to hear from you. Again, this is Andrew with Prime Medical Training. Thanks so much.